lacerating all the edges that are going to meet each other. And again, I just used vinegar, white vinegar. And I'm just going to go and start making both of these things, get to know each other, folding the edges down. And that is a weak spot. So that's actually buckling under the weight. So I'll just keep that in mind, maybe brace it from underneath with my other hand. Maybe take off some of that clay from the excess rim. And it's folding over there too. Again, air bubbles are a real thing. So I do want to be careful that I don't trap any while I blend. So just being sort of methodical in that way, and just like making sure that I slowly fold it over from one direction. And step one after that, like basic forming, is to try and get rid of joinery edges. So I can really try and blend these things. And then I can do some refining and pull some things out as needed. You see there's kind of a flat spot here, maybe. You can kind of see that. Like one of the wrinkles from the interior sort of ends a little bit too abruptly. So I'm just going to lay in a coil and try and pull that element out farther. So it doesn't look like it's just starting here. I want it to look more cohesive. And again, you know, I didn't need to scratch and attach that. This area is wet, the coil is fairly wet, and they're blended together. So no problem. It's getting a little messy, a little tacky. That's good. That means it's wet enough to adhere properly. Just going around, doing my joinery. Like, we're really trying to compress that area so that it does meet with the base there. We have this, like this, I don't like on its own. You know, you have these nice, like soft curves, and then it just all of a sudden stops right there. But that's kind of an interesting moment that I'm going to try and dig into and resolve. Issues like that are just great opportunities. I'm just going to do a little preliminary cleanup, get rid of some of these things. Again, I'm scraping with this at an angle, so I'm getting finer teeth, just so I can be a little bit more gentle. Just trying to blend those curves as well. Make them look like they're continuous. Get my hair out of there. So now that it's sort of situated, this is honestly one thing that I do a lot that I haven't really been doing in the class, just stepping back and getting a better feel for how things look from far away. It's really important, you know, to get the healthy dose of perspective. I'm going to grab a little bit of Let's see. I like that these are kind of pulling back. So I'll give them another direction. Just adding a little coil, blend it right in. I don't really care about thickness. I don't care that it's uneven. That's fine. Uneven in thickness, it's like really thin in that canyon and thick on top. That's it. The canyon will have more exposure to air and heat, so it'll dry out faster anyhow. That's good. Just trying to blend them so they're round as well. And maybe I should pull back a little bit more aggressively. I think we're probably approaching our 5 minutes. So any closing remarks, closing questions? I guess, yeah, unfortunately, this is the last wet work demo. Ruth, I'm sorry I didn't get to the mini purple thing, but maybe I can make one and send you some images or something. I really do sympathize with the visual learning element.
Max, this was just a tremendous class. I think it's one of the finest classes I've taken in a very long time, if not the best.
Holy cow,
well, between the demonstrations and the content, I sort of felt like I was in graduate school, which you elevated it to a level that is hard to get. So thank you very much.
I really appreciate that, Shelley. That's far too kind. I've certainly had a blast. I sympathize with you guys having to listen to me monologue for hours now, but I'm glad. I hope it was useful in many ways.
Yeah, Max, I second that. I really enjoyed it. On another note, I have a question about the sodium carbonate thing. That's okay.
Definitely. Sodium silicate?
Sodium silicate, yeah. Just to be clear, so you mix a tiny bit of it in a glaze and then you dribble it on after it's bisqued, after the piece is bisqued.
The goop stuff from the beginning of the process?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can get similar effects with a glaze or a clay with sodium silicate. You can also get similar effects, like just try some of your shop glazes really thick. Take a quart container and leave it in the sun for a couple hours or many hours until it becomes a little bit more pasty, and you can see what thicker applications do like that.
Okay.
Matt, I think that she's confusing sodium silicate with silicon carbide.
Oh, yes. Is that?
I don't know. What was it that made the color of the glaze more dense, or?
The silicon carbide inflates stuff a little bit.
Okay.
So, like this was one of the slightly inflated glazes. This uses chrome as the colorant. Chrome is really aggressive. Like if you've ever seen this green, it's chrome. That's what chrome loves to do. Basically, goes Army helmet green and nothing else, unless you use it in combination with zinc, and then it goes pink. Yeah, silicon carbide is definitely one to play around with. You can do weird things. The only things you really have to watch out for is if you use it with a glaze that runs a lot, it'll do some dramatic things, like you might get spitting. It'll like spit a little bit of glaze on things that are near it in the kiln.
Yeah, I wonder how safe it is or kosher it is to use it in a kiln where other people are putting their pieces.
Testing.
So you're going to talk about that tomorrow with the catch plates and test tile props and how to properly do that in a community kiln.
Definitely. Honestly, it really is incredibly important. And I've been doing these things, experimenting with who knows what, in communal settings, where you really do have to be careful. I've had a couple times at Toshiko's where we fire the big gas kiln like once a month. So I would have all these tests, and I was really walking in the dark, or, you know, I'd have one test that came out all right the last time, so I'd put it on a big piece, and then we'd open the kiln and I'd see my piece in the back, like with a pool of glass around it. No, no, no. So we can talk about, yeah, some security measures and how to go about testing in a community environment.
You know, and that being said, even if you were not in a community environment and you had your own kiln that you owned, you still want to do these practices so you can have a long-lasting kiln and kiln furniture. So this isn't just about where you're working, it's about best practices.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
I think that would be great. I like that.
Yeah.
And I like the whole workshop, Max. Ditto, Shelley.
Thanks. That's great. And, you know, I think we'll have this Facebook group for a while, so feel free, you can shoot me questions, or however I can be helpful. You know, you can, a couple of you guys have my number, my email, or my Instagram. Feel free to just reach out. If there are follow-up questions from class, or something out of the blue, I'm happy to help.
Are you thinking we should keep the Facebook page alive? Like, why not, right?
Yeah. Sure.
It can just be the archive of the class, or, you know, people can continue to converse there too.
Definitely. Yeah, it's been great. You know, although there are great benefits to this virtual thing, I do wish we had been able to be in the studio together. There's a nice, you know, mutual feeding off of people's energy and whatnot, and ideas are exchanged at breakneck speed and whatnot. But in the meantime, the Facebook page is nice.
Max, thank you, Max. It's an amazing class. Just what, you know, I said, and absolutely love your work. Wish you the best. Like, I think there's so much creativity. Like, you're so early in your career, and it's just it's a delight. I'm going to keep watching like all the amazing things you're going to do. And yeah, so what's next for you? What after?
Oh, what's next? That's a good question. Things are a little bit up in the air. You know, like a lot of residence programs are shut down. So I'm still waiting to hear back from one or two of them, which I would like love to go to. One is in the middle of nowhere in Indiana, a nice rural middle of nowhere location to hide out from global upset and pandemic and whatnot. The other is Toshiko Studio back in New Jersey, where I've been working on and off for the past 10 years. They have expressed that they're happy to have me. So I think more likely than not, I'll probably go back there by August and make some work there, especially for this New York City gallery, this Manhattanite who wants a bunch of my work. Try and make some projects for him.
What gallery is it?
Culture Object. It actually hasn't opened yet. The opening was supposed to be in April, but due to the virus and whatnot, that has all been postponed. But he is amassing work. He represents some other cool people. I can't really talk too much about it because everything is under wraps, but he represents some pretty cool people. It's all luxury design objects. And the guy who runs it is really a sharp cookie. He was on like the MoMA's board and Corning Museum of Glass. He's a real like glass specialist, but really a witty guy.
Please put us on, or me, on your mailing list, or all of us if they want to be. But I think you're going to be accomplishing great things.
Thanks. I've certainly been having a boatload of fun, and I can't imagine myself stopping anytime soon.
He actually has an Instagram. Is that Damon Crane?
Yeah, Damon Crane.
He has an Instagram for the Culture Object.
Definitely, yeah. I like him a lot. I find him very charming and erudite, and I'm generally, just really excited to be able to work with him, and feels strange to be hanging out in Manhattan, but it sounds good. Yeah. We'll see what comes of it. I guess this is probably keep working out some of these edges.
I
Maybe-
think it's slowly tipping forward. I look back at my photos taken about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah,
That that may well be so.
it's looked like the thinker of Rodin.
That's I have thought that all along.
The
All
wrinkler.
along, yes.
That's great.
All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up, but we'll hopefully see everyone on Friday at the same time, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. The surrounds will be a little bit different. We're going to try to do it in Glaze Barn, but have to do some testing to see if it will stream from out there. But yeah, different place. So
And Carla,
Too.
yeah,
thank you for the class that you taught on Friday. That was very interesting.
oh
As
good.
well.
I'm glad you were there.
Yeah. Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, really, Kayla, thank you so much for manning the cameras as well. It's been fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Kayla. You were a wonderful moderator.
It was
Yeah.
my pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Terrific.
everyone.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Lata.
We'll see you all on Friday with an expert.
Got it.
It was a great group.